Misty, hi, Jim Delapine here. I want to give you some video feedback here. So, you have a double image of the background on top, which I'm not clear as to why you did that. Just make note that you need to. Well, actually, you do have you have an adjustment layer that's a clipping mask. That's great, and you also have the saved in selections. That's great. Okay, so let's talk about this. So I'm going to hide this layer here that's on top. That doesn't make sense. All right, I think this bottom is all you need. All right, so what I'm going to do is select the bottom shadow layer, which is layer 11, scroll up and shift click layer 9. So I'll have everything selected, and that will allow me to move my character down and put Chris on the floor, essentially. Okay, so that's really all you need. Although you do have another. All right, so let me just deselect this. There's a background shadow layer here, which doesn't make sense because now he's really on a floor. So I'll just hide that. All right, so this shadow layer, most shadow layers are better off in multiply mode. All right, so just do that. It makes a minor difference, but it does make a difference. So now this top text here, this is a little weird, so I'm going to show you how you can work with that. Now the character is, as I said from the beginning, it's wide, so you cannot. Ideally, you'd want it to be taller. Okay, so that's kind of an issue, but we'll deal with that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the text technique, which is going to make a difference here. So I'm going to hide this text, and I created this other text here to show you what we're going to do with this. So computer is on a separate layer, and it's all caps. And let's see here. Actually, well, this yeah, this text is fine. Okay, this font is fine. So I'm going to take this text here, and I'm going to scale it up. Okay, so hit Control T, and then go to any corner bounding box and start dragging outward, and hold down the Shift to constrain it, and Alt to scale out from the center point. So I think something like that would be fine. Okay, hit Enter, and then I'm going to take Critter. Actually, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to take Chris, put this here. All right, forget about the color of it. Okay. And Chris needs to be behind these speakers here, so we'll do that shortly. I want to focus first of all on computer. Now I want to put this in perspective. This is a text layer, and perspective doesn't work for the text layer, so I'm going to right click on this layer, computer, and rasterize the type. All right, so it's no longer an editable font. All right, I'm now going to go to Edit, Transform, Perspective, and then I'm going to click on the bottom corner and scale in until it matches the perspective of these binary code numbers coming up. Okay, then I'll hit Enter. All right, then I'll take Critter, hit Control T, and scale that up. Shift and Alt. And, I may need to just fudge this a little bit. I'll just move this over. Actually, I'll make this a little larger, so it'll look like it's coming from a different. I think it'll look cooler. Okay, so I'll hit Enter. Then I'm going to right-click and rasterize the type for this layer. Go to Edit, Transform, Perspective, and do the same thing, and make it look like it's in perspective with the text, with the binary code. Hit Enter. And then with Chris, I'll just click on that, hit Control T, and scale this up to match, kind of like that. I'm going to have it sit on top of the TV, I guess. I don't know. It sounds like a good idea. All right, hit Enter. Actually, I'll hit Control T again and pull this up. Yeah, maybe that'll look interesting. I don't know. Have fun with it, you know. Okay, and then hit Enter, and then I'm going to drag this. I'm going to drag all 3 layers down. All right, so it keeps a little more organized here. And then I'll put this right underneath the bottom shadow layer. Whoa, what happened there? I think because, what happened to this shadow layer? Oh, it's because it's in dissolve. It should not be in dissolved. Okay, I don't know why that happened. So, all right, now again, drag these down. And this should go, actually it doesn't matter, it can go above the shadow layer, but it'll now go behind that. All right, so now what I'll do is this. I'm going to take Chris, I'm sorry, well, yeah. Okay, so Chris, so I'm going to control click on the T in the Chris layer, hide that layer, okay, then scroll down to the bottom background, all right, and hit Control J, all right. So now this screws it up a little bit. Whoops, what happened here? What's going on? No, I know why. I think I know why. So Control J. All right, here's why that happened. All right, I have to take this text and bring it up here. Okay. And interesting. Interesting results. You know what's throwing it off? It's the use saturation adjustment layer. So let me go back to clipping that. It actually doesn't matter. This doesn't need to be a clipping mask here because it's the bottom layer. It's affecting the bottom layer. All right. So let's do this. What did I do here? Okay, so this. You know what? All right, let me just do this. I'm going to take these two layers and merge them together. It'll simplify things, okay? So selecting both layers and then hitting Control E will merge these two together in one layer, okay? Now, I'm going to trash that layer. Okay, now with this background layer selected, all right, after we merge it, now I'm going to copy Chris to a separate layer. So we're hitting Control J. Okay. And these two layers are no good, are confusing things. So let me just trash these. All right. So we have this Chris on its own layer. So now we can double click on this and make this bevel and emboss. And you can see already what's going on here, Chris. And you could do inner bevel, outer bevel. I'd like you to experiment with this. Outer bevel. All right. And now what you can do is change the light source of this to whatever you want, and also change the color of it so it stands out more. So if I go to color overlay, all right, select this name, click on the name, and you can change the color. You can choose any color you want here, all right, and then hit OK. All right, so I'm going to do this one more time for this up here. It's just a different way to do it, okay? So for Critter, I'll Control click, make it a selection. That's the whole trick, getting the selection. I'll hide the color part, go down to the background, and hit Control J. And then I can copy these effects to this layer here by simply Alt click dragging that FX to this Critter icon. And I get the same, I can duplicate the layer style. All right? All right, so do that for the final submission and everything looks good. Thanks. Bye.